Hello and welcome to today's session where we'll be talking about the full blood count. The full blood count is a basic test and it's usually the first test you're going to perform on any patient. It looks easy and straightforward, but there's a lot that you can get out of it. Today I'm going to be showing you how to analyze it, understand it, and interpret it, and be able to come up with a list of causes of the abnormalities that you would see on a full blood count. The first step in understanding a full blood count is to understand where your blood cells come from. So you probably know that there are three main cell lines. So that's your white blood cells, your red blood cells, and your platelets. Sorry, this needs to be red blood cell, like that. So all of these three cell lines come from one cell, and that cell is known as a stem cell. So that's your starting cell in the bone marrow. So I'm just going to label it for you there. So that's your stem cell. And then out of this stem cell, you get two cell lines that come out of it. So the first cell line leads to your lymphoid line. And out of this lymphoid line, you get white blood cells. So not all of them, some of them. And the specific white blood cells you get here, which you can see from the name, they're going to be your lymphocytes. So that's your B lymphocytes. And then your T lymphocytes. And then your second cell line that comes out of the stem cells is known as your myeloid line. So your myeloid line also gives you some white blood cells. Okay, just different types of white blood cells, and this time it's going to be your neutrophils, your eosinophils, your basophils, and monocytes. Okay, so far you can see that your white blood cells are coming up in these two cell lines. Going back into the myeloid cell line, you also get red blood cells and your platelets. So your myeloid line actually has three cell lines coming out of it. And this is important because later on we're going to talk about bone marrow problems, for example, that take out all these cell lines. And also there is a group of conditions known as your myeloproliferative disorders, and what those are problems where you get excess production of the cell lines from your myeloid line. So you get excess red blood cells, excess platelets, and excess white blood cells. So that's good for your basic understanding of how these cells come about. And what I'm going to do now is to start talking about each of these specific cell lines and what can go wrong with each of them. So that brings us to the end of our session today. I hope you found this useful. Remember, I've put a link to reference notes or a cheat sheet that you can use to get all this information on one page. If you found this useful, please remember to subscribe to our channel, and also share this with your friends so they also can subscribe and like our videos. Remember, you can find us on all social media platforms, and we've put our handles at the bottom of the screen for Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, and also Instagram. I hope to see you again in the next video, and I hope you will stay tuned to our channel.